Thank you very much, and welcome to all of you, and thank you for your time. So, the significance of this visit from Liberal International, from CALD, the Council of Asian Liberals and Democrats, and Liberal International. Liberal International, as you said very clearly, is the World Federation of liberal political parties, liberal and democratic political parties. We gather more than 100 political parties and organizations in more than 80 countries. And so we are truly international in all continents, quite well based, and quite a number of represented parties here today. The Prize for Freedom is our biggest prize, the best prize we have. It's quite a prestigious prize. It has been awarded for now 35 years. And Kurosina Kino, as you said, received the prize in 1987. And now we're very happy again to give the prize to a Filipino that deserves it, Senator Laila de Lima. She is the 35th recipient of the Prize for Freedom. She joins a roster of freedom fighters around the world, like former Argentinian President Raúl Alfonsín, former Pakistan Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, Raif Awadi, Uyghur scholar Ilham Tohti, etc., among many others throughout these years. Lord John Alderdice, for example, who was the person who brought together different parties in Northern Ireland during the peace process, as Speaker of the Northern Irish Parliament, etc. So people of this caliber. It is not the first time that Liberal International visits the Philippines, and we have been here quite a number of times. We organized in 2011 an executive committee of Liberal International that brought delegates from all over the world to the Philippines. Our Human Rights Committee, we have a very active Human Rights Committee, is led by the former Secretary of State for Human Rights of the Federal Republic of Germany, Markus Lönning, and he's been here quite a number of times. In fact, last year, he was among the last foreign officials to be able to visit in jail Senator Laila de Lima. I myself was prevented last year from visiting her in jail with some administrative excuse, and as far as we know, since then, there have been no foreign guests that have been able to see her in jail, which is very troubling, and for which we are very upset about. We have been concerned for the plight of Senator de Lima since her arrest on February the 14th, 2017. We issued a strong statement that day, and now, once again, we bring to the Philippines a statement signed by over 60 former prime ministers and ministers and current members of the European Parliament and other international organizations. There are more than 60 liberal politicians from the 6 regions of the world, from Africa, Asia, Europe, Middle East, North and South America. And I have here the list and all the signatures of this statement of people from developing countries and developed countries, from women, from men, from high politicians in their countries, from members of parliament, etc., who have signed this petition and this protestation to be issued here, together with the Prize for Freedom, calling for the freedom of Senator Laila de Lima. Now, in order to assess the situation of Senator Laila de Lima, we attended yesterday morning a court hearing in Muntinlupa Regional Trial Court, where those charges had been lodged against her. We were surprised by the proceedings. We were able to speak with the senator, since we were sitting behind her, and we were able to exchange some words. We are concerned also about her physical well-being. We know that her detention conditions are very poor, and we think that it's very wrong to keep somebody in those detention conditions and not to let her see basically international guests, international people who want to see her as a standing senator. It's very wrong, and to give administrative excuses every time somebody wants or asks for the permission to see her. We believe those charges against her are manufactured evidence on perjured testimonies. We believe that her living conditions and necessary restrictions are very poor. We don't understand how she's prevented from performing her duties as a lawmaker, voted by so many million people in the Philippines. And we are very concerned about her political persecution, constant attacks, vilification of her character and of her person. And this is not just the ones who are in this table. We were talking about this more than 100 political parties and organizations all over the world. We are the ones who, and we represent those ones who are very, very concerned about the situation concerning Senator De Lima. Now, another issue we have discussed while being here has been the issue of the extrajudicial killings in the Philippines. It's extremely chilling for the world to know that this is happening in the Philippines with impunity. According to the official figures, 23,000 people have been dead in these kind of killings. Whatever the exact number is, it is now in the thousands, and it is encouraged from public authorities. And this is basically undermining the rule of law, and it's undermining the rule of law in the Philippines and in the whole region. Nobody is against, finding solutions to combating drugs and drug trading, of course, but not this way, not by killing people, not by creating orphans and widows in this country, traumatized forever. We met this morning with quite a number of those widows and those orphans, little children, 1, 2, 3 years old, 4 years old, who have seen the death of their parents in front of them. This is terrible. This country is much better than this, so much better than this. We admire the Philippines, we love the Philippines. It is much better than this. And it cannot be known as this country that does these things. I'm sure we'll have from my colleagues here some more assessment on this. I know that in Thailand they tried to do this and it didn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't resolve the issue of drugs. And what it does is it undermines the rule of law and creates a lawless society. The European Parliament and other international organizations like the United Nations, the Human Rights Committee, etc., the Human Rights Council, have all issued strong statements and resolutions against these extrajudicial killings in the Philippines and against the general human rights situation right now. Yesterday we saw all the indicators about human rights in the Philippines have gone down in the past 2 years compared to all other countries in the world. So we have to be very vigilant about this, and one of the reasons why we're here is basically to issue also this very much warning about what is going on in the Philippines. We, as Liberal International, view with grave concern the recent pronouncements from the official authorities of the Philippines about these extrajudicial killings being relentless and chilling. Now, I will now give the floor to my colleagues and ask them to basically give also their appreciation of the situation in the Philippines. Both this great respect for the sovereignty of the Philippines, great respect for this country that fought a tyranny, a dictator, a Marcos dictatorship, and did it so well and brought the admiration of the world, and now is just immersed in these very difficult times. Maybe I give the floor now to the President, the Secretary General of the Council of Asian Liberals and Democrats.
Thank you very much. My name is Kiet Sitiamon, and I'm the Secretary General of the Council of Asian Liberals and Democrats, comprising from this region, over 10 countries, and that believe in liberalism and democratic values. And in the past several years, we have been following the work of Senator Leila De Lima closely, and we see that she's one unwavering fighter for human rights and democratic values in the country, and she made statement known. She made herself known on her position with regard to rule of law and human rights. And for that reason, Council of Asian Liberals and Democrats actually nominated her to our family, Liberal International, for this prize that is will be awarded to her representative today. Now, coming from Thailand, we have faced this situation before. Similar campaigns have been launched in Thailand during the early 2000s. And as a result of just 3 months campaign, over 2,500 people died or disappeared. And thereafter, we managed to put a stop to this campaign because we have His Majesty the King Rama IX expressing concern on the situation. And after that, we set up an independent investigative body, which is the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, to really assess what happened and what should be the next step forward. And what we discovered is very clear, that once whoever is in power sent the wrong signal to the police force for this kind of campaign, mistakes are made and lives are lost. And those lives that is lost are innocent bystanders, innocent people who should be protected by the Constitution and under the law. Now, we also discover that out of 2,500 people that die or disappear, over 1,100 of them are innocent. They are innocent. And it's because of the way it's being done. And nobody disapprove, fight against drugs. Nobody. But which is the best way to deal with that? And certainly not this way that we have seen. It's similar, and I respect sovereignty of Philippines. I respect, the choice by which the government may choose to implement the policy. But I came here to chair the experience that is not a good one and it's being implemented in Thailand and failed. What happened at the time? Do we suppress drugs? The answer is no. We push up the price of drugs three times. And all the pushers, main agents, and producer were not touched. And it's proven that this kind of campaign really is not the solution to the problem. And therefore, in Thailand, what we have then relook at the policy, and with a change of government, of course. And the policy that is being implemented right now that is more successful is to focus on the supply chain, the effort on intercept of transportation routes, look at those who might be involved with the transportation of drugs and sale of drugs, instead of starting with the users. And the user is considered in our country as patients who needs help and who needs rehabilitation. And with that, we became much more successful in the fight against drugs. And since then, we managed to capture big loads of transportation. And another area that we focus ourselves on is the money trails. When you start looking at the money trails, you start seeing who is involved, and you won't be surprised. Some people in the police force or even military force are involved, because this kind of activities cannot be done easily without the help of those who have the authority in the area. So we then look at this as, the effort to combat against drugs. It has to be evidence-based, it has to be based on the rule of law, and it has to respect constitution, and we must ensure those captured in the process must receive a proper judicial process. And we still continue. It's a difficult problem for any country, and we still continue to fight against drugs in my country and in various countries in the region. And but we must also ensure that the lives and livelihood of innocent people are protected always. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now give the floor to Emily Lau, after having given the floor to the former Deputy Prime Minister of Thailand, to Emily Lau from Hong Kong. He was Member of Parliament for many years.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's with great pleasure and honor that I offer myself to come to this prize-giving ceremony, because when I received a message from CALD Secretariat a few weeks ago, and they say there's this thing, I immediately say, yes, I will come. Because I think in the defense of human rights and freedom, we all have a responsibility. So I have no hesitation, although of course I have stepped down from the Hong Kong Parliament since October of 2016. But as I told a conference in Jakarta earlier this year, I stepped down from the council, but I will never step down from the defense of human rights, freedom, and democracy. So we all have a duty. And of course, I come to support the Filipino people, to support the senator. I had the good fortune of being able to go to the detention center to meet her with two other colleagues from the CALD Women Caucus last summer. And since then, I know that, she was not allowed to receive foreign visitors, which I think is a disgrace. And when, a few days ago in Hong Kong, when I told them, they said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Manila. They said, what? Sort of like I'm going to a very dangerous place. But that's the reputation the Philippines getting. And it's a democracy. So I certainly hope that this predicament of the senator will end very quickly. I think the administration of Duterte should respect the human rights of all the nationals of this country and give her and everybody a fair deal, and also end the spate of extrajudicial killings. When I was here last summer, I was on Rappler, and the host asked me, oh, what do you want to tell President Duterte? I said, well, respect the rights of your people. Respect their human rights. Respect the rule of law. And sadly, that was a year ago. And now I don't think there's much improvement. So people say, are you afraid to go to Manila? Well, I say, I speak as someone who cannot go to mainland China. So I have seen difficult situations. Why should people be afraid when they come to Manila? Why should people of this country be afraid? We met victims of extrajudicial killing this morning. They are very sad and very terrified. Why should the government of the country treat these people like that? So my dear friends, I come as a friend of the Philippines. As you all know, there are many Filipinos working in Hong Kong. And many of them know the senator. She went to Hong Kong when she was justice minister during that tragedy on the coach in which over 10 Hong Kong people were killed, the tourists. So we know Hong Kong and the Philippines have very strong ties. You are our good friends. I wish you well. And I hope all of you will stand up for your rights. Because some people say, the people get the government they deserve. Well, you tell me, what government do you deserve? But we, as members of the international community, we want to uphold respect for civil liberties, for human rights, for independent judiciary, for the rule of law. Those are the things that we still have in Hong Kong, although we don't have democracy. And I hope those are the things that the people of this country will enjoy. And you will always find a very strong friend in us. So good luck to you all.
Thank you very much, Emily, for this passionate defense of the rule of law. I now give the floor to Hakima El Haite, the former Minister of the Environment of Morocco, a woman, strong woman from a developing nation, and who is going to be the next president of Liberal International, the 14th after I leave my position. So, Hakima, you have the floor.
Thank you, Julie. I'm very happy to be here, and I would have loved that I came to Philippines in other circumstances. But we are here today to support Senator Leila de Lima and to award her one famous prize, the prize of freedom. One unique prize, a prize which was launched by Liberal International in 1985 and which is given and awarded to all people who struggle for freedom, rules of law, democracy, and human rights. This prize is a recognition for the respect of dignity, and this prize for us is the signal of our acknowledgement to the struggle of Leila de Lima, her family, her friends. We were this morning in the University of Theology, and we met with the victims of those, what you call, extrajudicial killing. For me, it's simply crimes against humanity. This is simply what it means for me. And we met with the press, and the press urged Mr. President Julie and myself and made a request to us, and he told us, tell our story. So we are here to make loud your silent voices. We are here to tell the story to the world. We are not here only to deliver this prize to Leila. We are supporting Leila. We are here to tell to all the people worldwide who are believing in the respect of human rights, who are believing in the respect of democracy, of rule of laws, who are believing in freedom, that we came to the Philippines and we saw those victims, we saw those children. Nobody is taking care today for these children. The press is doing, but nobody else. The state is not doing. So we are here to tell our friend Leila de Lima that you are not alone, that the regime kept away and took away your freedom, but you are still free. It doesn't took your convictions, it doesn't took your dignity, and it doesn't took your friends. And we will tell the story to the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I give the floor to the last but not least, Erin Tanyada, the spokesperson of the Liberal Party of the Philippines, let me just read to you, for example, all the signatures of this statement. The statement says, on this 520th day of the imprisonment without trial of Senator Leila de Lima of the Philippines, we, the undersigned political leaders and human rights defenders from around the world, commemorate the awarding of the Liberal International Prize for Freedom to our Liberal colleague and extend our support to a prisoner of conscience. We urge the government of Rodrigo Duterte to release Senator de Lima and drop the fictitious allegations made against her. And we have here, for example, former Prime Minister of Thailand, the Secretary General of the Council of Asian Liberal and Democrats, the Chair of the Council of Asian Liberal and Democrats, Women Caucus from Malaysia, the leader of the Singapore Democratic Party, the president of the Asia Pacific chapter of the International Network of Liberal Women from Taiwan, the Member of Parliament, president of the Africa Liberal Network from South Africa, Member of Parliament Stevens Mukalapa, the Vice President of the African Liberal Network from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the leader of ARSH, de la Nation from Madagascar, the international officer from the same country, the Secretary General of Kadi Party of Somalia, the President of the Civic United Forum of Zanzibar in Tanzania, the President of the Liberal Party of Chile in South America, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Nicaragua, Vice President of Ally in the Bureau, the President of the Alliance of Liberals and Democrats for Europe in the European Parliament from the Netherlands, Hans van Balen, MEP, Guy Verhofstadt, the former Prime Minister of Belgium, who's now the President of the Alliance of Liberals and Democrats for Europe in the parliamentary group of the European Parliament from Belgium, from Germany, the former Federal Government Commissioner for Human Rights Policy and Humanitarian Aid, Marcus Lunning, Robert Woodward-Thorpe from the United Kingdom Liberal Democrats, members of Parliament and former Minister of Environment of Bulgaria, members of the House of Lords, Lord John Alderdice, who was himself a recipient of the Freedom Laureate from the UK, United Kingdom Parliament, from Russia, some leaders of parties from Russia, from the Netherlands, the UK, Sweden, again Germany, Montenegro, Bulgaria, Denmark, Romania, the Czech Republic, Estonia, Sweden, Israel, Canada, the former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada, Dr. Ewan Kohler, a very well-known human rights advocate throughout the world, from Finland, from Andorra, from Morocco, from the United Kingdom, from France, etc., etc. So this is a statement that we bring from all these prominent fighters for freedom from all over the world. This is not just us, it's a big movement. We are all trying to help Senator De Lima because we don't believe her charges are true. And we are defenders of the rule of law. Let me now give the floor to Erin Tanyada, the spokesperson of the Liberal Party of the Philippines.
Thank you, Jules. First of all, I'd like to thank Liberal International for bestowing this award to Senator Laila De Lima, and again bringing honor to the Liberal Party. This is the statement of the Liberal Party. The Liberal Party congratulates Senator Laila De Lima on her receiving the Prize for Freedom Award from the Liberal International. We are proud to have Senator Laila De Lima for a member. She was among the first to take a strong stand against the onslaught of killings by exposing the fakeness of the war on drugs and unmasking the conspiracy among high government officials in this war that has claimed the lives of mostly poor Filipinos. The award is a great honor for the country. Her sufferings, the public shaming, the trumped-up charges, and the deprivation seem to be the price for her prize for the Freedom Award. These indignities can be too much to bear for anyone with less courage. The award is also a great inspiration for all liberals, if not all Filipinos, not only to stop the killings and find justice for the perpetrators, but also to continue to fight for freedom to be with her family and friends. The award is a reminder for all of us to follow her lead and have the courage as she has to stand up against oppression and to be willing to make big sacrifices in defense of freedom and human rights of the Filipino people.